Hello everyone, I'm Brian Dragon, and welcome to Vox Adventures. There we go. Oh jeez. Hey you. Who's an alley Alex? Yes, Alex, you have to be in the center of attention right now. I don't know. Yeah, all over the table, all over the keyboard, all over the laptop. Hey, what are you doing, Goofy? Oh, right. Dungeons. Oh, jeez. You know, I was first introduced to Greece in elementary school. Music class, of course, grade 7. And of course, it had to do with the fact that at my future high school, they were putting on Grease. So we watched the movie, then we went to see the play. Oh jeez. And something about the play Grease compared to the film, it's boring. Unlike the film where the I don't know what it is about the film. Well, yeah, the plot lines actually do connect. The songs don't seem like they were just put in there just so it can be a musical. Because that's a problem with the original stage play. It just seems like the songs are put there from the just to make it a musical. It almost seems like it was decided that Grease should be a musical after everything had been written. After the play had been written, and yeah, there you go. Also, the characters aren't really that interesting either. They're more interesting in the film. And that's probably because even though most of the cast is a bit too old for their roles. Oh jeez, what's going on? Yeah. As I was saying, although most of the cast is too old for their roles, they still end up feeling like real people. With the play Grease, it just feels like the actors are going through the motions. I've seen Grease twice. Both times it felt like that. It's kind of shocking that someone saw that play and said it has to be a movie. But I'm glad they did, because the movie's better than the play. One of the few times that can be said. I mean, yeah, I know The Lion King, the musical, is... Well, I mean, in the sense of the original work compared to the adaptation. As an adaptation, The Lion King, the musical, is vastly superior to the original animated film and even the 2019 film. I do like the 2019 film better than the 1994 film, but let's face it, with a play a play like that, it's just begging for a film stage production. It's criminal that there hasn't been. Yeah, what's Disney doing? I mean, DreamWorks got in on it with their film stage production of Shrek the Musical. Will they do something like that for Prince of Egypt? Oh god, I don't know, I hope so. I have some film stage productions of some Shakespearean plays, uh, some operas, Shrek the Musical. Not really anything else. Because there just doesn't seem to be anyone doing anything else. I know that there's a film stage production of Oedipus Rex from Stratford from the 50s. And Oedipus Rex is something that I wasn't introduced to until high school. To classical civilization, and that's where I first read Oedipus Rex. And as far as the chronology of Hellenic mythology goes, which some writers only have to do their work to make sense of, it's before it's before the time of Heracles, before the Trojan War, before the time of Theseus, all those things. Probably after the time of, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's after the time of Perseus. Perseus is Heracles' great grandfather, so there you go. If you ever see someone, including them, in the same story, I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not talking like Age of Mythology where they're just heroes you can make at the temple. They don't actually factor into the campaign. Factor into the campaign. They're not characters in their own right there. And I'm glad that's the case because as I said, it wouldn't make sense. Oh, and if you want an example of parental favoritism, Perseus and Dionysus, two demigod sons of Zeus, both died fighting each other. Dionysus is the one who's made a god, while Perseus is left to die. Yeah, last parental favoritism for you. Alex? Coming up, kitten? What's up? Well, if it's some sort of consolation prize, Perseus's great-grandson and half-brother Heracles ended up becoming a god. You know, that's such a weird thing to say, but it's true. It's true. Heracles is both great-grandson and paternal half-brother to Perseus. Meaning Heracles' mother, Alcmene, is also his great-niece. I'm pretty sure I can see why that's rarely brought up. I mean, it's weird, but that is pretty much the genealogy. One son of Zeus is descended from another son of Zeus. All because Zeus slept with his great-granddaughter by taking the form of his great-grandson, who was arranged to marry her. Yeah, marriage between cousins, it was common then. But that at least doesn't sound as weird as those other things I mentioned, those other type relations I mentioned. It's weird, it's weird. It's very weird. I've seen a few adaptations of the Heracles myth. And yeah, never brings up those relationships, those relations between those various characters. I mean, true, for the 2005 film, Antaeus turns out to be Heracles' follower, Hercules' follower instead. But then it just goes into not mentioning what Antaeus' relationship to Heracles was. I mean, besides an opponent, Antaeus was the son of Poseidon and Gaia, a union between grandson and grandmother. That's yeah. And as well, how do I put this? Poseidon being Zeus's older brother. Yes, Zeus is the youngest of the three. Hades is actually the eldest. They they did lots to see who got what. So anyway, Poseidon is Zeus's brother, so Antaeus is also Heracles' uncle, and thus Gaia is Zeus's grandmother as well, making Antaeus also Heracles' great uncle. Uncle and great uncle. Only in Hellenic mythology. Only in Hellenic mythology. People can say Norse mythology is weirder, but yeah, a horse with 8 legs that Loki gave birth to in the form of a mare. That's a close second compared to the relationships going on in Hellenic mythology. Yeah, jeez. What? No. Oh, goodness sake. It's premature. you're fine. And speaking of which, in the comic book series Age of Bronze, which is taking forever for Eric Chenor to do, started in 1998. It's still going on. It should not take him now over twice as long as the Trojan War to write about it, to do a comic book series about it. Anyway, there's a part where Achilles says he's not closely related to Heracles, and that's factually incorrect. Either not a relative or not closely related, but that's factually incorrect because Heracles, son of Zeus, well, Peleus was Zeus's grandson. Thus making his son Achilles Heracles' great nephew. Yeah, you can't say someone is not related or not closely related when they obviously are. I mean, let's face it, Zeus and Poseidon are pretty much the grand unifiers. I'm pretty sure they're the ones with the most illegitimate children, or just the most children period in Hellenic mythology. Among gods. Of course, Heracles himself followed a fair number. Oh, and of course you're going to want to wonder, you're probably you'll probably find this bit interesting, but Heracles' final wife, the one he's given once she's become a god. His paternal half-sister, not sure of the pronunciation, Hebe? I'm saying it exactly as it's spelled, so... Yeah, trying to get the charger. Excuse me one moment. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, Hebe, apparently someone accused Marvel of anti-Semitism for actually using the name, not knowing that is in fact the name from Hellenic Mythology, so yeah, that really makes no sense. Also shows a lack of, well, knowledge. It's not like Marvel just plucked the name out of the air anywhere. Any more than the names like Megara or Deianira are plucked out of the air. They're all names from the actual mythology, so if you're gonna go ahead and make moronic claims, moronic accusations that a name from Hellenic mythology is anti-Semitic, then yeah, for God's sake, educate yourself. Yeah, but anyway, paternal half-sister of Heracles, that's who his final wife is. Who is her mother? Hera, of course. It was actually Hera who gave Hebe to her, to him, to Heracles. Heracles. Yeah, that. To Heracles, that. For. Yeah, she. She spent so much of his life just in general trying to kill him or cause him failure. Except for the Argosy. The quest for the Golden Fleece. Now, it's only when he's become a god that she stops doing so. No trying to kill him, no trying to make him suffer. Yeah, just she just gives him her daughter, his half sister, to marry. And of course they have 2 children, but that's yeah, it's their deities that their deities and they pretty much do it with whoever they want. And of course, marrying of siblings is not uncommon among deities. I mean, I know everyone likes to point to Egyptian mythology, but Zeus and Hera, siblings. And taking into consideration that Hera is actually Zeus's chief wife, it's not like all of his wives are related to him. Oh, but it's and yeah, that is actually what the actual case is. Zeus is actually a serial polygamist in the original mythology. So Zeus has multiple wives. In the same way that monarchs long ago had multiple wives. No idea of saying that there's probably still in some parts of the world where that's the case. So it's not really a case of Zeus's infidelity. It's more of a case of Hera being a jealous chief wife who probably fears being replaced. And with that in mind, it probably makes for a better story. At a time when it was common for monarchs to have multiple wives, and with Zeus being a serial polygamist, the whole Hera's fear about being replaced thing as Zeus's chief wife, yeah, that's a lot more interesting. Yeah, jeez. And some of her actions towards Zeus's illegitimate children, it could, in some part, be driven out of jealousy, because let's face it, some of her own children by Zeus aren't exactly that impressive. We may call Ares the god of war, but he's not that impressive. Ares and Hephaestus, I'm pretty sure. And well, of course Hebe, but what even is Hebe. I think she's... No, wait, she was Zeus's cupbearer. Then he abducted Ganymede. And then that's basically just him getting a new cupbearer, so... Okay, let's see her. Angelo's never heard of. Daughter of Zeus and Hera, who became a chthonic deity. Yeah, Ares definitely god of courage and war. Ironic considering he's a bloody coward. Running away the first moment he's injured. Oh, you don't know what I'm referencing? The Iliad. Read it. Diomedes actually wounds him with the aid of Athena. Aletheia. Oh yeah, goddess of childbirth. Don't really hear too much about her. Yeah, she's not too bad actually. Ares is pretty pathetic though. Enyo, goddess of war, destruction, conquest, and bloodlust. Don't hear about her too much. I mean, she's probably overshadowed by Ares. Eris. Likewise, don't hear too much about her, but... Well, actually, you do. Most often in fiction, she appears in the Hercules and Xena franchise under the name Discord. She appears in the Glory of Heracles series, specifically the DS game. Only game I've played, so there you go, because that's the only one I've owned in. That's because it's the only one that was given an official English translation for the Western world. And yeah, the preparers are either Nyx and Erebus or Zeus and Hera, so... And Hebe I mentioned, goddess of eternal youth, prime of life and forgiveness, and cupbearer to the gods. Or at least she was. Until she was married to her half-brother, and then her father carried off Ganymede. And of course Hephaestus, who's not a bad guy. Yeah, for the most part. There is that whole him trying to rape Athena thing. But Hera's not too great to Hephaestus either, so... I think what the case is that it's... not just Heracles being the son of a wife other than herself, it's the fact that compared to her own sons, Heracles is that much more impressive. Oh, also there's that whole Hera having cheated Heracles out of becoming the king of Tiryns, Argos, Mycenae. It was one of those city-states. And that, how that happened is that Heracles Hera made sure Heracles was born later than Eurystheus. Also, a descendant of Perseus' grandson, to be specifically. But this isn't as weird as it typically is. It's just one of Perseus' sons having a child later in his life. It's perfectly normal. So yeah, Eurystheus is actually Heracles' kinsman. Only time I've seen that acknowledged in a adaptation is in the 2005 film / miniseries, however you want to define it. I mean, I consider miniseries to be movies. Just with the, it's just they've just follow multiple acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Ah, calamari. Oh, by the way, Zeus's serial polygamy. Yeah, because of that, pretty much a lot of the royal houses of ancient Hellas claim descent from him. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much another reason for Hera to be angry, an angry chief wife. Don't really recall ever reading about any of the royal houses being descended from Ares, Hephaestus, or any of Hera's other children, so... Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for Hera to not be happy. None of which is actually due to infidelity. Because as I said, a time when monarchs having more than one wife was the norm, and Zeus is just a serial polygamist in actuality. I mean, yeah, some of his wives are related to him, but he's a god. That's pretty much weird. That's pretty just normal for him. And actually, the whole Theseus being the son of Poseidon thing is actually something that came later. It's basically just to explain. It's a methodological way to explain why Athens was a naval superpower. And it was probably also a way for the priesthood of Poseidon to get the last laugh over the priesthood of Athena. Well, that's a short swim. Alex? What are you up to? Geez, not responding. If God, wait, that was Steam. What was going on? Zeus really wasn't great, but let's face it, it's really more serial polygamy than just plain philandering on his case. In his case, not on his case. What the hell? And you know, I'm almost wondering if, well, the Iliad, let's see here. The three most important characters, Achilles, Agamemnon, and Hector, are all descendants of Zeus. Which I'm pretty sure they are. I know Hector is, I know, well, of course, Achilles is. I know Agamemnon's descended from someone important in the pantheon. But it's almost as if Homer was saying, no, all three important characters have to be descendants of Zeus. I mean, I'll probably have to take a look at the genealogy of Odysseus and Penelope. And then Tenuous. I mean, yeah. Oh, come on. Come on, this never happened with the MacBook. Why is it happening with the AC? Oh yes, of course. Give me sound, but just have it be not responding. And that's a short journey. Ah, magical portals. Where you go, nobody knows. What the hell? Yeah, this is very awkward. Yeah, sorry if I'm not talkative at the moment. Was on that topic for a while, so what can I talk about now? Gonna went did some naming for some for the male and female leads of some planned stories. For instance, the story simply titled Jungle Adventures. The male lead is Harkin Esker, and the female lead is Autumn Cardwell. I figure since in the case of Sheena, Sheena actually is her birth name. So just do whatever name. What am I supposed to call her? Autumn of the Jungle? Yeah, geez, that's not... No. I mean, Autumn of the Jungle does sound... I don't know. I mean, it's a name. It's a good name. Hell. Hey, kitten. Are you okay, Alex? What are you? Oh, thank you. Lay on top of my wrist. You know, in the research I've done on Sheena and her imitators, I found the bizarre tendency to just rename Sheena and have her birth name be something other than Sheena. I mean, what's the point? It's pretty much established that Sheena was the name her parents actually gave her. You have to give her some other name and then make some convoluted reason for her to get the name Sheena? Oh, good lord, good lord. And speaking of her imitators, some of it, we all know that it's basically, we all know Sheena's look. A blonde in a leopard skin bikini, it's, a lot of it, the imitators are just changes to the look. Camilla eventually became a blonde in a zebra skin bikini. Rula, jungle goddess, a brunette in a giraffe skin bikini. It's pretty much, yeah, I know, it's kind of lazy, but it's pretty much become the standard for this jungle girl type thing. Oh, for goodness. Alright, you mummy. Because that's what they're actually called on the language I've got chosen. The Shakespearean language. But on the other hand, I guess the look kind of makes sense. You put some white guy in a loincloth, give him a knife and a bow and arrow. Give him a knife, a bow and a quiver full of arrows, and you know who he's an imitation of. He's an imitation of Tarzan. But the funny thing is, in the case of Sheena, she didn't... her costume wasn't initially a leopard skin bikini. It was initially a red dress, I think. There's some colored dress, so... It kind of follows the... for like, I don't know, 10 issues or something. Sheena's in that red dress of hers. And then she gets a switches to a leopard skin bikini. And that's kind of the same thing with Camilla. Meant to be the leader of the queen of a lost city of Norsemen in Africa, and one story of Mongols in Africa. Yeah, she just dressed normally, no animal skin bikini, no zebra skin bikini. That was something that came later. And also, yeah, they started, you know, I'm just saying right now, it probably comes from Camilla, this whole Sheena not being her birth name thing. Somewhere down the line, like late in Camilla's run, they just ended up deciding, what if she's not actually a descendant of Norsemen or Mongols? Well, predominantly it was Norsemen, and one story it was Mongols. What if she's just some lost English / American / Canadian / some English speaking nationality girl who was adopted by the people of the lost city? And so something else was her supposed birth name. It's never exactly confirmed if she is or if she isn't, but whatever the case, that seems to be what Sheena eventually got. And I just have to wonder why. Why do you have to do that? For God's sake. She had an established name. Why do you have to go and do that late in the run? If a character has an established name, don't change it. Keep it as it is. So yeah, that's that. Not much I can say about it. And well, on one technicality, a Sheena imitator is basically because, well, the company couldn't get the rights to Sheena, so the company was Marvel, and the character is Shauna the She-Devil. Shauna, Sheena, yeah, pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Yeah, Shauna. Shauna. At what point was that not? How was that not considered copyright infringement? Sounds like a bootleg. Bootleg Sheena, that's basically what she is. Or was, I mean, she's pretty much become her own character now. You want to maybe get off my arm? Hey? So, where did Camilla come from? Oh, Jungle Comics. Yes, really, Jungle Comics. That was the name. Really, an anthology. Well, sort of an anthology. You had multiple, excuse me, multiple series running in the comics. Not all of them. Excuse me. Not all of them imitations of a pre-existing character. Of course, to be fair, Camilla was basically. It's funny. She started off as an imitation of She. You know, her story started off as an imitation of She, the H. Rider Haggard novel, and then eventually she became an imitation of Sheena, was actually whose name was actually inspired by the H. Rider Haggard novel She. Oh yeah, you had your odd Tarzan imitation. You had Simba, King of Beasts. Yeah, before Disney, but pretty much Simba was pretty much a stock name for lion. I mean, quite literally the Swahili word for lion. comics like that were pretty much just the thing back then. Uh, Superman got his start in Action Comics, which of course had more than just Superman. Batman got his start in DC Detective Comics, which of course had more than just Batman. It's just the way of things. Even Marvel Comics was originally just the name of a magazine with more than one story. You had Human Torch, you had Namor, you had the Masked Rider, you had the original Kazar. They were just these anthology. No, wait. Maybe not an anthology. Tales from the Crypt can be, and the other EC comics, those can be called anthologies. These, because a lot of the characters ended up having a story each issue. I'd say it's probably something different. I mean, sure, there was the odd standalone, but I don't know. It was basically if you didn't like one story or one character, and then there was always something else for you to read. And if you didn't like any of them, well, tough luck. Oh, Jungle Comics. Yeah, I've read a few. I've not read a lot of Rolla, only one issue. And I don't even know which Rolla it was in. I only found out about her through the Jungle Girls release from IDW Publishing, which covers a few Jungle Girls. But I've done my research, and yeah, this whole tigers being native to Africa thing. I know Edgar Rice Burroughs initially portrayed Sabor as a tiger before making the switch to a lioness, which actually is native to Africa, not native to the jungle, but well, realistically speaking, could just be where jungle and savanna overlaps to try and rationalize it. Simba, King of Beasts, of course, the tiger in Africa thing showed up, apparently showed up in an issue of Rolla. Jeez. I'm not AFK, not by choice. Uh, Cinema Sins, a channel I don't particularly like, for their 2016 Jungle Book video, referred to Shere Khan as an African tiger. Tigers are native to Asia. You'd think people would know better by now. You really think people would know better? By now. Of course, with the leopard being called the tiger of Africa by some people. Of course, I didn't really hear about it until I watched the Disney documentary from the 50s, The African Lion. It makes you wonder if it just... There were some very, very stupid people which just took it at face value and said, okay, there's tigers in Africa. Edgar Rice Burroughs, he realized his mistake, the others didn't. There are no tigers in Africa. They are not native to Africa. That's what I mean. The leopard is not actually a tiger. And yeah, as I said, I've done my reading on Rula. Oh good lord, the stuff I've read, that does not make sense. Tigers in Africa, chimpanzees simply being what young gorillas are called. That is not at all what it actually is. Chimpanzees are a completely different species. They are not juvenile gorillas. Who in God's name makes such a mistake? Oh jeez. Oh jeez, I mean, the kookaburra the kookaburra sound effect in places where kookaburras are not native, which is pretty much everywhere but Australia. That's good lord, is that even still a thing? But the tiger and kookaburra thing, that's just misplaced wildlife. That chimpanzees being juvenile gorilla thing, where, what? That doesn't even make sense. Got a minute left, so let's just swim. Or maybe not even a minute. Okay, so the slowness will just... yeah. That's all for today, everyone. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight.